Hello, and welcome to Leadership Table Talk, a show designed to help you develop and improve your leadership skills and talents. I'm your host, Dr. Mary Gillam. I am a retired Air Force colonel and former member of the Senior Executive Service Corps with the Department of Defense at the Pentagon. Today, I want to discuss women business leaders making a difference through service. To discuss this topic with me, I have two wonderful ladies with me today. Lieutenant Colonel retired Betty Dudley, who is the owner of Lt Solutions, Inc., and she's also the author of the book, Call to Serve. I also have with me Mrs. Maria Stanfill, founder and CEO of My Sister's Closet. One caveat that I would like to make before we get started with our discussion today is the fact that both of these ladies are still working full-time jobs. So I want to commend you on that because I know that it is hard to run and operate a business even on the side when you're working a full-time job. So ladies, I want to definitely commend you on that. And I want to also let the audience know a little bit more about you guys. So let's just begin by just telling them a little bit about your backgrounds.
Okay, well, I'll start.
Okay.
My name is Maria Stanfield, and thank you again for having me. I married the love of my life 30 years ago, Kevin Stanfield, and we have 3 adult daughters. One, our youngest, is about to graduate in just a few weeks from college, and so we'll soon become empty nesters, and we're really excited about that. I do, as you mentioned, I do work full-time for Pillsbury Law Firm, and I've been there for just about 30 years as well. And then I'm also so excited that I've launched My Sister's Closet of Maryland and we've been in operation for just over a year now, so we're very excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And I'm Betty Dudley, retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel, and I'm married to Chief Master Sergeant retired George Dudley. And to tell you a little about myself, I would have to go back to my childhood. Yes. I am the 6th of 8 children, and I got my work ethics from growing up on a farm. And my father would get us up early in the morning, and we would tend to the animals and produce produce that we would take to the market. Wow. And I think that provided the foundation for me for my leadership as a servant leader, that I would like to call myself as a servant leader, because we are here to serve one another, whatever capacity that might be in. So I think I got that early on for being on the farm, and I just thank you for having me here and for this opportunity to share with you.
Well, you are welcome. Thank you, ladies, for coming. Well, let's just tell the audience also what inspired you to start your businesses.
Shall I begin? Oh, okay, thank you. Let's see. I just have to say the Lord. Yes. I have to go back, though, to that 30-year mark that I mentioned earlier. I decided not to let fear hold me back anymore.
Great.
And in starting a business or doing anything that's new and outside of your comfort zone, it's really, it really can hold you back. And I found over the course of the years that I have been holding myself back. This has been stirring in my spirit for a long time, and to help other women. So 30 years ago, when I entered into the law firm industry, I sat at the reception desk back in the day when they actually had voicemail. You had to actually have to answer the phone, not like we have today. And there were 3 prominent women who, aside from working their job, noticed something in me that I hadn't noticed, even known myself. So they mentored me and made a significant change in my life and helped move and direct me into the career path that I am today and to become the leader that I am today. But I will say that what inspired me was first a stirring in, sort of here, sort of your gut that you know, and then paying it forward and then giving back at the same time. So I decided, frankly, I was inspired no longer to let fear hold me back, but faith will move you forward, fear will hold you back.
Yes.
So I've decided to make that plunge, and so I'm excited and inspired and really motivated by the women in my life who did not look down or see me as a threat.
Yes, yes.
They reached over and they helped me.
Absolutely.
And I want to do the same for other women.
That is wonderful,
yeah,
Maria.
thank you.
That is wonderful.
Thank you.
Betty?
I have not started a business. I have launched a name only in the business, but my purpose for starting that business was to serve. And taking on that same mentality that I had in the military, we are all called to serve. And whatever business that will materialize into, it will be a call of service to individuals, to inspire them, to encourage them, to motivate them, to look beyond themselves and to give out of themselves to make a difference for the lives of others.
So, progressing further here in the conversation, you mentioned Call to Serve, and I see that you have a copy of your book there.
Yes.
So, would you ladies consider yourselves servant leaders?
Definitely, definitely, because we can't be a leader without serving. And I think society as a whole has probably looked down on leaders as servant leaders or servant. And we are all called to be servants. That's the highest calling that you can have, of being a servant, but society has looked down on servant. So I think to be a leader, a good leader, you would have to go forth in serving your people as well as the organization.
Absolutely. So you would agree that there's no way you can be an effective leader if you
Yes.
don't understand what it means to serve
serve,
others.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I totally agree with
Yes.
Betty. Absolutely. And I agree that society has diminished the word serve and servant.
Yes.
But again, as you said, that's what a leader is.
Yes.
And everybody has a boss.
Right.
Everybody has a boss.
Yes.
The boss has a boss, whether it's the top owner of a company, of the most affluent company, their client is their boss.
Absolutely.
So they have to serve. So if we
Yes.
think about in that framework, yeah,
To be
absolutely.
a servant, yes.
Well, let me ask you, ladies, something else here as we're talking about leaders and leadership. How would you define leadership? How would you define that?
I would say leadership, you would have to be able to inspire, encourage, motivate someone to either fulfill your vision or to help them to fulfill a dream that might be inside of them, but ultimately to inspire, encourage, and motivate someone to do something.
Maria?
Yes, I would agree with that as well. But I also, and I would add, I would add that you have to walk the talk.
Yes.
Yes.
You have to
Absolutely.
model the behavior.
Yes.
And so, but everybody is not the same. So although, and like the three women that I mentioned earlier who saw me as a young girl, they saw not themselves in me, but what, if I may say, what the Lord had sown in
Yes,
me. And they decided
absolutely.
that they said, let's help her in this way. So understanding the place where the individual is, then it takes a really good leader, I think, to focus on not like what you want and how you want to shape them, but allow them to shape and then, help lead them into the right direction.
I used to tell people, I don't want to create little mini me's, but what I
Yes.
want to do is help you to discover that hidden potential that
within
is
you.
inside of you.
Yes.
And since we're talking about that, I want to just highlight something that I wrote in the book that I released not too long ago, which was called Gifted to Lead, 4 Steps to Releasing Your Leadership Potential. But Maria, you mentioned earlier about fear, and that is one of the things that I address in that because that has kept a lot of people back from stepping into their God-given talent and potential. And so I really think that you hit it dead on the nail there. And then Betty, when you talked about your book, Called to Serve, and the fact that we are all servant leaders, I do believe that only way that you can really help others is that you know and understand the importance of serving. But one thing that I do want to trigger in on, and that talks about passion. Do you believe that to be successful in anything that you have to have a passion for that thing?
Absolutely, because that gives you the drive, the determination to do what's inside of you, to birth what's inside of you out, or either to help someone to birth what's inside of them, their dreams. But if you don't have the passion, it won't succeed, I don't think, not effectively. So, but that passion would drive you to be able to do what you want to do. You know, you can't sleep, you can't eat, you know, because you want to get it out. So
it's almost like something, it's birthing inside of
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Talk a little bit more about it.
I love it. And as you can tell, I'm a little more animated. I'm like, oh, God. But I love that word because, and for me, it's very personal. It's the love of.
Yes.
And so when you're passionate about what you're doing, and I'm so passionate about My Sister's Closet and about being a good leader overall, is quite honestly, that is the thing that really energizes me. Now, I'm not a morning person. Well, you said you can't sleep. I'm not a morning person, haven't been, but I get up at 4:30 every morning because I believe setting the right foundation in the morning with my quiet time, prayer and meditation,
Yes.
and then to go from there and start the grind, because you can get right into the grind. But the passion gives you energy.
Yes.
The passion, it also keeps you on track for being honest.
Yes, absolutely.
Ethical, right? To understand, like, every decision related to this, is it circling back to what the drive, the passion is? So, yeah, I love that question because I'm so, it's a love of, it's a love of, so yeah.
Well, ladies, it looks like we've come up on a break, but stay tuned and we will be back with you shortly. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to call and say it's riveting. You know, it's exciting television, even though the set falls down sometimes.
The most stimulating and rewarding television viewing I do. Been watching it for years. It made a huge difference in my life.
The program was excellent. This is the second time I've seen it. I would love to get the tape.
He's great. I'd like to see him do more. Please encourage him.
I just wanted to say how wonderful it is that Fairfax County residents get to see there's other cultures.
I found this show very offensive. In fact, it was revolting.
I was astounded watching the show. It was simply unbelievable.
I watch this channel from time to time. Great that there are local people doing this kind of thing, and thanks for existing and bringing us this kind of programming.
Do you have something to say about the programs on Channel 10? Call our viewer comment line and leave us a message telling us what shows you liked, what you didn't like, or if you need more information.
Well, welcome back to Leadership Table Talk. I have two wonderful guests with me today, and our topic is Women Business Leaders Making a Difference Through Service. Before the break, we were talking about servant leadership and those kinds of things. And so we're going to pick up there, and I'm going to ask the ladies if they would just take the time to just talk a little bit more about what inspired you, especially Maria, what you saw that was missing when you decided to start My Sister's Closet.
Well, as I mentioned, I've been an employee with my firm for 30 years now, 31 years actually, when I think about it. And I took the track of a receptionist, and then I went through human resources. And over the course of those years, I noticed that there were a lot of young men and women who just did not know how to interview. They didn't know what to wear. They didn't know how to shake a hand or to make good eye contact. And there are just a lot of little fundamental things that were lacking. So it just, again, that stirring again was going on, and I said there's some help there that I could provide. So I would do that. If an individual asked for feedback, I would give honest feedback and provide that to them. And then I learned, very recently, went through a whole coaching session, and that was phenomenal, and learned so much. So with that, I took that, and now, and then elaborated even further. So it took me to a broader spectrum and allowed me to really get down deep to help people really understand, like, the dynamic that they want to present, the presence that we all bring. Like, I'm 6 feet tall, I'm tall, I'm 6 feet tall, but whether you're 4'9", 4'5", or 6 feet tall, we all bring our presence. And so teaching and coaching how to bring your presence and interact with people. So it's just, I saw a need, and when I see a need and that thing going on with me, I've got to serve. I have
That
to
is
serve.
wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
Betty, would you like to elaborate any bit more on why you saw a need to establish Elite Solutions?
I saw the need to serve. It's all based on service, and I'm formulating it now. I do have it in business name only, but just to be able to inspire people. And I don't know, I'm also looking at the possibility of maybe getting a federal contract. I'm still pursuing that option, but the basis of it is service. We are all called to serve, and the world is waiting for people to get out and serve and make a difference in somebody's lives. Either just with the veterans, I was helping someone with the soul, with the warriors, you know. The need is out there, so there's not a lack of things to do. It's the laborers that are few, so the need is out there, so it will definitely be service.
So let me just ask you ladies this particular question, since we're talking about business leaders here. Can you elaborate on the importance of having a business plan as you go forward in your business?
Yes, the Bible speaks of without a vision, the people perish, and it also says to write the vision and make it plain for people who will see the vision and run with it. And as leaders, we have to have the vision to be able to impart that to the people so they can get behind that vision and push it forward to help you succeed with that. So we need that vision, and the strategic plan is basically just getting the ideas and the vision from that leader onto paper so they would have a roadmap to follow.
So one other thing is that regardless of the business type, you should always do a business plan. Is that what you ladies are?
Absolutely, I agree with Betty. And I have a little bit, you probably can't tell, but I have a little bit, I think I'm easily distracted and I see a lot, and I'm a visionary, but I can be easily distracted as well. When you have a vision and you set your goals and you know, have them outlined in front of you, things that come to distract you, like with My Sister's Closet, we provide professional attire, training, skills training, and the like. So when we are coaching someone, it can very easily go into a whole other direction. Or someone could donate and say, I want to donate clothing to your organization. Like, love it, great. We have no lack of donors in that regard. I'm so thankful for that. But if it's not professional attire, we can't accept it. And not to offend anyone, but you have to have a vision. You have to be strategic about it, because it'll take you very easily off to another direction, and you forget, like, whoa, wait a minute. And it actually happened to me. It actually happened when I got a little bit off track.
It just helps you to stay the course.
Yes.
You know, that strategic plan helps you to stay focused in the middle of the road, you know. Yes.
Absolutely. Now, ladies, let me ask you, as new business owners, I know that we all have challenges. What are some of the challenges that you have experienced, and then how did you resolve those?
I think my biggest challenge in starting Elite Solution was just getting started. The fear, like Maria mentioned earlier, the fear, you know, am I capable of doing this? What if, you know, I don't have the clientele? What if, you know, all of those more distractions and the fear that kept me from really getting started.
Well, for me, as I mentioned, it was a little ADD, just all over the place. Like, oh, they want us to go here. We need to help this shelter. We need to, and it took me. Although all the things that was asked to do in different venues and opportunities do not align with the vision. And so first it was to get myself focused. The other challenge is, as I mentioned, we have no lack of clothing donors, and that's a beautiful thing, and we're so grateful for that. In fact, we're sort of busting at the seams for space, but we have a great turnover. But the challenge is from financial. When you're a startup, maintaining, you know, we have to have a place to store the clothing. Just financial sponsorship is what we're looking for. We do lack a little there, but I have to say God provides every month.
Yes.
But that's one of the major challenges. So the one first, just to remain focused and aligned with the strategic plan and our goals. And secondly is financial challenges.
Yes, I can agree wholeheartedly, because I know when I just started out, what happened with me was just trying to stay focused on really what the actual mission of the business was, because I was, I had experiences in so many different areas, and as a consequence, I said, okay, we can do this, we can do that, and the next thing I know is like, okay, no, I need to tailor it and go back to the business plan, and it does help to keep you focused, and so that you can see exactly what you are doing.
May I add one more thing, Mary, is that what I will say though, the beauty of having a nonprofit is we have a board.
Yes.
12-member board, and they are incredible women, brilliant business leaders themselves, and so I tap into them as a resource, and they help me when I'm faced with those challenges. They help keep me on course. So that's a particularly helpful portion for me.
So a nice thing about having that board as well is that there are mentors that are available, not only as you are teaming together, but even those that you are serving.
That's right.
You have people who have already, they've got all kinds of talents that they're willing to share.
Absolutely.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, absolutely. We have an upcoming professional development and career fair boot camp coming up. And what we're excited about is that as members of the board are actually mentors to the individuals that will be coming in. So we don't just take our clients in and say, here's a new suit, now go your way. We actually do a full service delivery to them, where we take them not only from helping them with the coaching and interview skills, but there's someone to follow up with them regularly and to be helpful and encourage them, because things, although we can give you all the skills training and support and coaching, but there may be a time where, like, people say no. You apply, you can put in resumes, and people just say no. And to keep you encouraged through that path. So it's been a phenomenal group of women. We don't have any men yet. They're welcome. We're welcoming them in. But these women are really very, very focused on what they do, and they're, as I said, incredible entrepreneurs and business leaders in their own right.
Now, Maria, do you guys have anything upcoming? I know you mentioned the boot camp, but is there anything else that you guys have on the horizon? I thought you mentioned something in your writings about a fashion show.
Yes, we're very excited. Absolutely. So we have a fashion show coming up. Thank you for that little commercial. We have an upcoming fashion show where we are partnering with the National Church of God Girls Ministry and Young Women's Ministry, and we will showcase not only the attire from My Sister's Closet, but we'll also showcase the feature from the very little young ladies, because we'll get them early, right through more senior, mature women, fashion designs from evening wear right through professional attire, you name it. And it is upcoming. It's May 16th at the National Church of God, and we're really excited. If you tickets are available, you can just email me at maria.mysisterscloset@gmail.com, and they're available. We also have the boot camp that I mentioned, and I'm really excited about the boot camp. That's a 4-week progression. And you ladies are welcome to join us as coaches or sponsors or mentors, where we will take the model that we have, and it's sort of a mastermind course where you learn everything, but we want to fine-tune your resume. And the presenters, the beauty of this is the presenters are actual recruiters.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So they will be telling you from an employer standpoint what the employer is looking for. What are they going to look at on your resume? Interview skills. Do you make good eye contact? Do you sit up straight? Are you leaning in? Just little pointers along the way. And then we'll have some role plays, which will be so we're going to make it fun. There's breakfast every morning. It's every Saturday in June, starting at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it goes to 1 o'clock. And breakfast again is served, and it's just going to be a fun, exciting, informational 4 sessions. So we're really excited about that.
Where is the boot camp going to be held?
The boot camp is going to be held downtown. You have to apply to get in. We have a very limited space. This is a very, very precious time frame, and we're excited about that. So you can email me again, maria.mysisterscloset@gmail.com to apply, and we'll walk you through the process.
Okay, ladies, it looks like we're coming up on the end of the show, but Betty, is there anything else that you would like to add before we close out for today?
I would just stick on the subject of having a business plan and a strategic plan in terms of your vision in terms of where you want to go. And that's very important to have that vision and that strategic plan to keep you on track.
Okay, so Betty, with your book called To Serve, they can find it on Amazon and on your website as well.
They can find it on Amazon and on my website at www.elitesolutions.org.
Fantastic. Well, ladies, it has been a pleasure having you on the show. You have been fantastic guests and very engaging and enlightening. And I just want to thank you guys for coming. And I also want to thank you for tuning in to our show today. I hope that you have been inspired by our guests and have learned some things that will help you to be good servant leaders as you continue on your leadership journey. Again, this is Dr. Mary Gillam. And if you would like more information about the show, please look at my website, www.M2GLeadershipBiz.com, and that's www.M2GLeadershipBiz.com. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.